Led by Bishop Elaine Stanovsky, members of the Rocky Mountain and Yellowstone conferences have spent several years researching the history of Methodist Church involvement in what has become known as the Sand Creek Massacre, and establishing relationships with tribal leaders of the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes of our three-state region. The goal is that on this, the 150th anniversary of the massacre, healing can begin in a more meaningful way for descendants. This historic annual conference was characterized by a call to repentance. This is a history we must all know.
The Sand Creek Massacre and Acts of Repentance. At the General Conference in 2012, Steve Sidorik, who is here and you'll meet later, and Young Suk Kong, and a number of people who are present, helped to plan and lead the General Conference in Acts of Repentance for harm done by the church to native indigenous cultures around the world. And in that action, there was also a commitment that every annual conference would also participate in acts of repentance for harm committed. And so in this area, on this year, which is the 150th anniversary of the Sand Creek Massacre, we focus on the Sand Creek Massacre, not because it's the only important incident, not because it affects all of the people, but because it is here in our territory, and our Methodist forebearers are so central to the story that we can't fail to know this history. So, we can't know who we are. We can't understand the world we live in and the social relationships we are part of. We can't contribute to the fullness of the life of people we live with as neighbors and strangers if we don't know this history. So come with me, humbly, to walk this path, to listen, to learn. Walk gently on the land.
In 1864, hostilities characterized interactions between white settlers, the white government, and native tribes. The territorial government authorized citizens to kill Indians who did not go to Fort Lyon. This dividing of peaceful Indians and non-peaceful Indians made extermination fair game. Peace chiefs took their people to Fort Lyon and were sent from there to camp at Sand Creek. It was then that Colonel John Shivington led the attack. More than 200 people died, most of them peaceful Indians encamped where the government had sent them. Tribal descendants of the massacre were invited to the 2014 session of the Rocky Mountain Annual Conference. A full day was spent touring the Sand Creek Massacre Monument on the eastern plains near Eads, Colorado. It was a time of quiet reflection, a time of learning, and for some, a time to remember.